Hi, and welcome back to the Rebellious Sacred Heart podcast. My name is Christina B., and here we are. Here we be today. And for those of you who have been waiting for this podcast, I know it's been quite a few weeks, a little over a month since I last recorded an episode, and for that I apologize, but I've been out and about and enjoying the summer and visiting family on and off for the last month, and got a little bit of rest and rejuvenation. But in anticipation, I hope you weren't all waiting too much, of the second part of my out-of-body experience and the signs and synchronicities that accompanied that. As you know, from the last episode, there were many things that occurred just prior to and even the day of, just going over all of the things I was reading on the gene keys and the tarot card readings that I did just prior to my out-of-body experience. But we're going to dive into some things that I did within a couple weeks and what has basically been happening since that out-of-body experience. And if you haven't listened to part 1, I believe that's episode 3, it would probably be best to get a little bit more background on that experience in itself. But I do want to start today real quick with just a message that I came across that felt like we probably all need to remember this. So this is a timeless message for whenever you get this right now. The message is to continue to trust in your process with love and compassion for yourself and others. Do not allow yourself to succumb to the distractions of the outer, as they do not serve you. Focus on the inner. This is where your true power lies. Banish old paradigms and embedded new ways of being, believing, and seeing things into your subconscious. Break free of those repetitive behaviors that only hold you back. Feed them with love, higher conscious wisdom, and knowledge. It's time to connect with all that you are and all that is available to you. Embrace your sovereignty. I always need to be reminded of these things because this journey is not easy, as any of you who have even started. Sometimes you don't even know that you're on it at first. Things just happen, like out-of-body experiences when they are least expected. So what I wanted to share with you today is the reading that I did after my out-of-body experience. So after my OBE, which is out-of-body experience, because I'll be shortening that, the OBE actually occurred on July 20th of 2023. So it's August 27th of 2024 now. So we are 13 months after that out-of-body experience. But as I was reflecting after the experience last year, I was shaken, like for sure. I was shaken and I was excited, but yet somewhat fearful, I would say, probably, of the unknown. That's the thing about a spiritual journey is you're not sure what to expect, because from what I have gathered from other souls is that all of our journey and our awakening process it's different for everyone. So that's where it can be confusing and somewhat, scary, I guess, just because it's the unknown. And we've been taught to fear the unknown because we didn't realize that we were being guided, supported, and loved by God, by our source, and that we are truly 100% connected to it. We don't need to seek that guidance, that voice that knowing from anywhere else, not from outside of us. It's all within us. God is within us. So I know it is very challenging, and I think mine probably, the spiritual side of my awakening started in 2019. So here we are almost 6 years later, or 5 years later, and it's still, it's an ongoing, it is a lifetime journey, and I am embracing it. And as I look up, not intentionally, but the time is 1:11 on the clock. So thank you, Spirit, for that message, that knowing. I love the signs and synchronicities. So speaking of that, the next reading that I did after it had been almost 2 weeks. I think it was about 12 days. So it was August 2nd of 2023. So that would be 12 days, I believe, 12 or 13 days after my out-of-body experience. That's when I did my next tarot reading on myself. Currently, I pull cards each day just to give myself guidance and ask Spirit if there's anything that I need to know for today, or just to be reminded of in general. And but at that time, I wasn't seeking the guidance every day. I would do it maybe once every couple weeks, or at first, not even then, because, again, the unknown, I wasn't sure about myself either. So anyways, the very first reading that I did after my out-of-body experience was from Kyle Gray's Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck. Now, if you have not experienced or looked into tarot cards as of yet, I would say that he is very, very connected to the angelic realm. And I started reading his books. He has angel books because he has been able to see and commune with angels since he was a young child. And he was just very inspiring, and I love his decks. The oracle decks that he has created so far, they're beautiful, and I've resonated with each and every one. But this was one of my first decks, and again, Angels and Ancestors cards. So what I asked Spirit before I pulled cards that morning was, what do I need to be reminded of right now? And out of this deck, 2 cards popped out. The first one was Sky Father, and it's trust in the unknown. Now, I definitely had to trust in the unknown, and still do. And the message for this card was, trust that your oath is unfolding exactly as it needs to. You have a personal relationship with the Great Father, and the Sky Father is also known as Father God. You are a co-creator of your life, and every thought, feeling, intention, and emotion you have is creating the road ahead. With that being said, you don't need to know every single detail of what's going to unfold before you. And most of the time you don't. This is just my words that I'm adding in here. It says, when this card appears, you are being guided to step back and get out of your own way. And I definitely had to do that. I literally left my body to get out of my own way, just to view it from a different perspective entirely. This says, because there is a greater power that is not only around you, but within you. And Sky Father is creating the best experience imaginable for you. Accepting this will allow miraculous energy to come into your life. See things from a higher perspective, like the eagle on the card. I recently heard that the eagle is the representation of the enlightened and ascended Scorpion, which is very interesting to me because I am a Scorpio sun sign in my astrological chart. So I thought that was pretty telling as well. And trusting in the unknown is definitely been a big part of what I face all the time now, but I also now trust in the process. So it's not in an apprehensive or resistant way. So I would think that you can see how this falls right into place after my out-of-body experience getting the Sky Father and trusting in the unknown. But I found it very interesting, it's the only word I can think of right now at the moment, that the second card that came out was the Medicine Mother, honoring your inner knowing. So the two cards that I got were the Father and the Mother. And the message in this card, the Medicine Mother, excuse me, here's my throat chakra. Excuse me while I take a quick drink. Okay, this card says, Mother always knows best, they say, and it's true. The Medicine Mother is extremely intuitive and insightful and has also gone through many ups and downs. She has lived and she has lost. She knows what it's like to suffer and wanting to give up. The medicine of this card says that it's okay to make mistakes and to get it wrong sometimes, and it's okay for things to come to an end, as it's only the end of a cycle. There is an old pattern rising up in you now, and it's time to deal with it and release it for good. You're being encouraged to love and respect yourself enough to take the steps that you need to take to move closer to where you need to be. You know what you need to do, and you're being guided to take action. Action requires courage, but your angels and guides are bringing you the courage you need to move forward. Take just one step, and when you do, the next one will be presented to you. So those were the messages I got that morning, and while I believe that those are perfect messages for what I needed after the OBE, my inquisitive mind was not satisfied. So I decided to go to another deck. I just felt that a need to do a more in-depth reading, just trying to understand what was happening to me, maybe why it happened and what's to come. So when I pulled out the Guardians of Light Activation Oracle deck, also by Kyle Gray, in that guidebook, he has a reading that is called, or a spread, a tarot spread called the Akashic Record Spread. So Kyle defines the Akashic Records as a compendium, which is like a summary, of universal events, experiences, and lifetimes that is held in the spiritual realms. They include the records of all soul lessons that we as a collective have experienced across lifetimes. I'm sure we've all heard of the Akashic Records. I know I've heard of them. I have not had personal experience that I'm aware of with them, but that does not mean that, I believe in the unknown. I don't really question it. I just personally don't have my own personal experience with it as of yet. But I guess I was trying to create my own Akashic Records experience right here with this spread. So in this spread, you pull 9 cards, and I will share them as briefly as I can, but hopefully you will see how the signs and the synchronicities just keep happening. And I know that you have your own too. It's just a matter of acknowledging them. So anyways, okay, cards 1 through 3 in this spread represent soul group information. And hopefully you've all heard about like your soul family and your soul group that you choose or that are part of your soul group in lifetimes outside of this realm, in everything basically outside of this realm. But anyways, the first card represents the gifts of the soul group. And the card that came out with that is the Halls of a Mentee Initiation. Secrets revealed, treasures uncovered, and initiations. And the message of this card states the Halls of a Mentee are a sacred learning space that were energetically transported by Thoth from Atlantis before it came to an end. The Halls of a Mentee are said to have been the home of the Emerald Tablets and a space of ancient mysteries in service to the expansion of humanity. You are in a deep initiatory chamber, and a reconfiguration is happening. Energetically, you are going through an initiation that will allow you to go beyond the fears of the ego, You mean like public speaking and doing what I'm doing right now? Yes. And transcend the limitations of the physical realm so that your vibration can raise. And raise it did. Energetically, I went through that initiation and not really understanding, but I can tell you now, a year later, that I have been able to go beyond the fears of my ego. And that's all part of my journey as it is starting to be laid out for you here. So the second card represents the soul group and the frequency that I am carrying within this soul group. And the card that came out was called Anunnaki Light Codes, Energetic Shift, New Information, and End of a Cycle. Just that alone makes it sound like it's definitely related to the question I asked about my out-of-body experience and how to better understand what that means. So the message in this card states, the Anunnaki are a rare race of cosmic beings who have been coming to Earth since ancient times. The Sumerians and the Babylonians acknowledged them as the deities who governed the space between the worlds. The Anunnaki are heavenly allies supporting our healing and ascension. In the distant past, they visited the Atlantean civilization and helped those who are aligned with the spiritual path to ascend to the next dimension. Know that great change is coming to you if you are willing to shift your perception. If you are resistant, know this is simply fear of the new, not intuition. Old ways of doing things must be released if you are to evolve. I'm going to repeat that because I messed up that sentence. Old ways of doing things must be released if you are to evolve. You are standing at the gateway of pure potential that will be ignited as soon as you move through this necessary change. Be open to new information, new processes, and new ideas. You are part of the new energy upon the earth. Again, I've always been drawn to Atlantis, which is really interesting. So getting the first card with the Halls of Amenti and that being connected to Atlantis, and now the Anunnaki with Sumerian and Babylonian, these are all ancient civilizations that seem to me that they were much more connected to the higher realms. And Anunnaki have been mentioned in the religious arena, religious texts that I don't even know, but as I used to believe, Anunnaki were considered fallen angels and they weren't necessarily positive. So I really enjoyed the description and the understanding that they are a rare race of cosmic beings that have been coming here since ancient times, and that they're deities that govern the space between the worlds, and they're supporting us. So that was very encouraging. So card 3 were the lessons for my soul group. And that card, which is, this card came in to me and in my reading just before my out-of-body experience first. And if you don't know what has been revealed to me anyways in the tarot, is that if a card continues to show up in your readings multiple times, that we need to pay special attention to these specific cards because they're a special message for you. Now, the message within this card, the Gaia Gateway activation, is learning experiences, wisdom transmission, and earth intelligence. It states the Gaia Gateway is a chakra that connects us directly with the mind and intelligence of Mother Earth. I don't know about you, but I was not even aware that Gaia Gateway was a chakra. I know of the 7, I know of the 12, the ones just above and below those 7, but Gaia Gateway was a new one to me. So thank you to Kyle Gray for that information. And this also reminds me that if this Gaia Gateway is a chakra that connects us directly with the mind and intelligence of Mother Earth, is that why the energy was so much more intense as I put my feet down on the earth just prior to me leaving my body? I mean, it kind of makes sense when I look at it that way. It also states that this chakra is being acknowledged as one of the key energetic spaces that we can connect with to activate the ascension process. So definitely it felt like that was being activated within me as well. So cards 4 through 6 in this Akashic spread give karmic information relating to the energetic challenges of your soul that intends to change or heal in this incarnation. So card 4 specifically is to reveal my energetic blockages. And this one I did not understand or didn't quite grasp the meaning or relevance within this reading, because the energetic blockage showed up in the card of the central sun, which is abundance, downloads, regeneration, and success. So I'll read a summary of the message here. On the card was: the sun is a vital energetic vortex in the physical realm, but on a spiritual level, it is a portal of divine light that we connect through the inner universe. This is a time to regenerate. Tiredness and old energy are washing away. Old skin needs to be shed in order to reveal a sacred, more aligned you. Welcome in the energetic changes. And since I didn't quite really understand the relevance of what this meant at the time, as I look back on it now, I can see how this would be considered a blockage for me, because I know now, not then, I didn't know, which is why I didn't get it then, but I know now that I was resisting the changes that were occurring prior to my out-of-body experience, and I was literally blocking my own growth. I didn't feel like I was worthy of any of these gifts that were showing up in these cards and these connections. Like, who am I? Or who do I think I am? I'm not special. But man, yes, I am. And so are you. We sure have it twisted when we think about how we see ourselves or how we see ourselves. And now I kind of get it that we were programmed to feel that way through society and through religion. And because of that, or at least I, very successfully created my own limitations in the form of my own self-doubt, self-criticism. I didn't believe I was worthy, and I just didn't believe I was worthy of that connection. I didn't realize that it was possible, but I do now. So, as you can see, that one was very relevant as well for downloads, regeneration, and success, especially as I share with you the journey that has been taking place over the last 13 months, and we'll get to that too in these future episodes. But card 5 is representative of my fears. And the card that came out for that one is Star Being Healing Codes. Important information, wounds are healed and recharging. Now, right away, just by the name of this card, I understand why I would be fearful of my old wounds, not believing that I could heal them, and not understanding that they could be transmuted and looked at in a totally new way, rather than things or events that occurred in my life that I felt at the time that were not positive. So I was fearing this. So the message of this card says that there are many names for star beings, such as ETs, star people, star ancestors. He doesn't say this, but I say aliens and more. I think aliens we were taught that was a negative connotation or description of a being. I don't believe that. But the message goes on and says, no matter what you call them, they are divinely inspired, evolved beings existing in dimensions that we cannot comprehend. Like angels, they are a divine expression of Source who are dedicated to the well-being of the entire universe. Here's where I think my fear also in this message. It says, you may feel called to be a healer for others and share healing with the world. And I had gotten that feeling prior to my out-of-body experience. I had been noticing more energy in my hands and feeling that I could direct my energy and control that energy, and starting to wonder if I had healing hands in some way. And I'm still exploring that. But either way, the past year has brought great healing for me of these old wounds as I retraced all of those notable events in my life that I felt at the time weren't good or weren't positive for me in any way. And now I can see how every single thing that has occurred in my life, no matter how I felt about it at the time, was always for my benefit and my growth. Otherwise, I wouldn't actually be here doing this right now if I didn't benefit from it and if my growth wasn't enhanced from that. So that card to me falls right in line, even though I didn't get it at the time. So again, just write these things down, explore, because you'll find the answers. Even when you don't get them right when you see them or come across them, it's always good to go back and see how far you've come. So my number 6 card was representative of challenges that I needed to surmount in order to grow. This one was huge for me. So the card that came out for this one, the challenge that I needed to surmount in order to grow, was Seraphim's Gateway. Voice activation, angelic attunement, and divine support. Okay, so the fact just that it says voice activation right on the card in this challenge that I need to overcome says it all for me. Like, this reading is from over a year ago. And when I look back, I can see so much has changed, and I've grown in ways that I could have never even imagined. Didn't even believe was possible, and probably didn't think I wanted at the time. But so much of that has changed. And as far as my angelic attunement and divine support, man, that really showed up for me, because after my out-of-body experience, which I've yet to give you guys all the fun, sweet details and synchronicities of, I did end up going to Sedona, Arizona. I had been drawn to Sedona for quite a few years, but never took the trip. And after my out-of-body experience, and as the integration began and the changes were occurring and the growth was happening, I felt more and more drawn to go to Sedona. So anyways, for angelic attunement, the day I did this during the eclipse of April 8th. 2024. So that's when I was in Sedona. And the night before my vision quest / retreat began, I had a practitioner that did an aura massage with me. And the practitioner during this scans your body and can find blockages and different based on just how your aura is showing up. So as he scanned my body, I was very grateful and thankful at that time when he said that I didn't have any major blockages or any energy issues with my health or anything within my body. But one thing that I just didn't even know how to take in at the time, he said that the angels were surrounding me, and he actually looked at me and he said, "You talk to angels, don't you?" And I smiled and laughed, and I'm like, "Well, I think you know I do." And he says, "Yes, because they are here, and they have asked me to realign and adjust your angel wings." And I can't even express to you in words how that made me feel. In fact, it made me cry. But as he was doing the massage and readjusting and aligning my angel wings, I could see, this was actually once I had turned over and I was laying on my back, my body started vibrating again. This time I didn't leave my body. I stayed right in it. I stayed in it so I could experience and feel it from this perspective of being here. But my body just started to energetically vibrate all over again. And I opened my eyes and all I could see was bright light. And I could sense angels. Just, they were circled all around me and all around the table. I just started bawling. I started crying at the incredible beauty and the love that I felt in that moment. I was laughing and I was crying at the same time, and so was my practitioner. Like, we couldn't even speak. It was just a matter of laughing and crying together and taking it all in. I was just laughing at the excitement. I was so grateful to be having that experience again and actually having it witnessed in a way that someone else could experience and relate to and validate in a sense for me. Why I still feel I need it, I don't know, but I guess that's part of being human. I felt so honored and loved by their presence, and the summary of the message for this card actually indicated that angelic qualities were being activated. That's what it states in this card. And so that, along with the voice activation based on where I am now I get it. Now I get it. So again, keep exploring, keep finding that divination tool or practice such as tarot that might just help you. You'll find that which you're aligned with. Whatever you're aligned with will work for you, and you won't need validation from any other source. And I can't just keep going. So I'm going to keep going here too. So the next cards are cards 7 through 9, which states cards 7 through 9 give divine plan codes. The divine plan code is what is unfolding for you in this lifetime based on your soul's intentions for this incarnation and the energies that you are expressing. So card 7 specifically states, this is my soul's goal. And the card that came out for my soul's goal is Shambhala's initiations, retreating to recharge, trusting in the process, Dharma. This is all part of that card's message. Dharma, in case you're unaware, because I did also have to look it up. I've heard of karma. I've heard of Dharma. Didn't really understand for sure what Dharma is. And Dharma is explained as it's a Sanskrit term that refers to the spiritual, ethical, and natural principles that uphold the entire universe. It implies a respect for truth, unity, and harmony in all aspects of life and culture, and a quest for self-realization. Well, I definitely have that. So, the message in the card states that Shambhala is also known as Shangri-La, the city of light said to be hidden in the Himalayas near Tibet. This is known to be the home of the god Shiva, of Buddhas, and other enlightened beings. The message in this card indicates that when things quieten down, know that it isn't a failure, but an opportunity to retreat and recharge. You are being encouraged to take time away from the outer world and dive into the inner world. Meditate and reflect as you uncover insights and gifts during this period. There is a master awakening within. So I can tell you that over the last 13 months since this happened, I have done a lot of meditation and reflecting. And I believe that I have uncovered many insights and gifts during this time. And so this card also fits right in with the reading for my Akashic Records, in my humble opinion. So card 8 indicates my intention now. And it states, you are here. So this is my intention, and I am here now. The card that came out is Chamber of the Violet Flame, Karmic Release, and Radical Transformation. Again, you can't make this stuff up. I was releasing karma, and I've had radical transformation. A karmic release was something that I specifically used my intention to clear also while I was in Sedona and during my healing ceremonies that were done during that time. I think we're releasing so many things, and definitely this radical transformation has transpired in my life since. And the message for the violet flame states that the violet flame holds a very powerful energy of transformation and transmutation. And just so you know, death and transformation is the core, or is the basic definition of the Scorpio or scorpion in astrology. So death and transformation is not new for my being, I guess. So the violet flame holds powerful energy of transformation and transmutation. When we connect with it, we are being given the opportunity to detach from lower vibrational experiences and turn darkness into light, like alchemy, turning lead into gold. Know that the violet flame of transformation has been brought to you by your angels and guides. They ask you to see that you are in a space of radical transformation. While that can be overwhelming, know that the hand of the divine is leading you all the way, helping you to release all energies that no longer serve you. You are an alchemist with the capacity to take all leaden aspects of your life and turn them into golden opportunities. You can align your life with the divine plan now and live in a more purposeful way. And I have been doing my best to do exactly that since then. And now for the 9th card in this Akashic record reading. This card represents the path of my life in this incarnation. And the card that came out was Halls of Learning, Spirit Guides, Confirmation, Great Lessons. The message of this card states the Halls of Learning are an etheric retreat dedicated to spiritual knowledge and ancient mystery school. It is particularly powerful for those opening to their psychic and clairvoyant abilities. The great halls are held within the heart of Source and are a projection of the divine mind's infinite intelligence. When we visit, we are connecting directly with the wisdom of Source. You are on a path to great learning, and your spiritual gifts are developing at this time. So as I present these to you in this reading, I hope that you can see how I perceive and hold these messages in light of the out-of-body experience that I had over a year ago, and how I have seen how these cards and how these messages specifically, these initiations, these downloads, the healing, the assistance and the guidance, the voice activation, the activations that have been happening for me over the last 13 months I just sit here and shake my head because it's really difficult to explain in words how relevant this is for me and how I truly feel connected to my highest self and to my guides and my angels and to Source, that I was able to receive these cards when I asked for clarification, for the understanding of what was happening. So the biggest thing that I really want to convey with sharing this information with you is that trust and surrender are so important on this journey of spiritual awakening. And trust is really difficult. I feel like it's 1:44 on the clock. I'm sorry. I look up at these times for a reason, and I just have to share them. I haven't been staring here at the clock as I've been talking, but it is 1:44. So where was I? Talking about trust and surrender. So to me, seeing that number also conveys that Spirit is trying to tell us that, yes, trust and surrender are so important on this journey. But trust is so hard because of the awareness that we have been deceived in many ways in our own world as we have been experiencing life right now. The deceptions have been great and numerous. So trust is very difficult. However, when you start, it starts with trust within yourself. And you can find that through your heart's intention. And my intention has not changed it has grown. But my intention, even as a young child, was happiness, was light. I always felt happy. And so in that way, how I look at trust now is trusting in myself, in the inner world, in the spirit of who I am, and not trust in the things outside of me. So not trust in the world, not trust in information or beliefs that were imposed on us. So the trust that I'm speaking of is trust within yourself in your own knowing. And surrender can be difficult too, because I think we automatically think of surrender as giving up. And that is not at all what I mean here. Surrender is not giving up. Surrender is really just a means of relinquishing, or it is the means of relinquishing control of who or what we think we are or should be. And it's the act of surrendering we also must allow. So we just need to surrender what we think and what we think we know, or what we thought we believed, and surrender to the spirit of higher knowledge, the knowledge that we are still gaining, that we're still finding within ourselves. And that surrender and that trust is hard because it's also unknown. And we haven't allowed a lot of room for the unknown or we haven't been allowed a lot of room for the unknown either, because we have been taught how to think, what to feel, how to act, and literally basically just being taught how to be controlled. And after 55 years, it's interesting to look back on it and realize that about 53 of those years, this is a tough one. So I started learning about truth back in 2010, 2011, but I didn't really dive into the spiritual side of it until about 2019. So trust was really hard then. Surrender, I wasn't going to surrender to anything because now I was being empowered with truth. But in that truth, that's where your trust comes from. That's where your surrender comes from. But we do also need to allow. So we don't just surrender by relinquishing control. We use our intuition to guide us. We look for those signs and synchronicities that we're on the right path. And the path is leading to the unknown, but it's only unknown until it is known. Because you will, on this journey, if you continue, if you continue to explore and continue to let yourself be guided to new things, even when you don't understand why, or if in the past you had a false belief of fear surrounding it, like I did with tarot. I was very fearful of tarot until I understood that the messages come from the place of intention. And when your intention is pure, comes from a place of love and honor, not only for yourself, but for others, the unknown isn't something to be fearful of. Because once you start on this path, and as you go, we have to keep reminding ourselves, because I continually still have to remind myself not to be fearful and not to fall into a belief that I once had in the ways that I used to think and believe. So that is something that I think that we all struggle with and will continue to struggle with periodically. It does get easier, and those times of being unsure are less, but they're still always there, because this is a human experience. We get to feel all of the emotions, the light and the dark, the shadow, and then the brightness that comes from that. Because within all darkness, there is light. Because without the light, you can't even see the darkness, right? If everything was light, you would not know what darkness is. So within all of our shadows, there is light. And this is how we transmute that ego that everyone talks about and work with it. Accept it, acknowledge it. So that which you no longer need to serve you on your spiritual path, you can release that you no longer need, like fears. Fear is was explained to me recently, or said to me recently, in a way that I had never really thought about. But fear comes to us often, and without even thinking about it, because it's trying to protect us. And at least for me, that was very profound, and it actually brought tears to my eyes, and it hurt my heart in a way, but also gave me a sense of relief, knowing that my fear was there to protect me. And yes, a lot of fears were instilled in us and created for us, but that fear protected me for a long time. As a child, certain fears protected me, and it made me set up boundaries that I've been having to break down since then, so I could reveal this truer, authentic part of me. But at that time, that was its purpose. And the journey is what it's all about. And we have to go through all of these different things and experiences and transmuting these different feelings and fears to find our truly enlightened souls, our truly enlightened selves. Excuse me. Where we get to just be, and be in love and in light. So I hope that this message has been inspiring. I hope that it will help you be unafraid of the unknown. And I hope that it will help encourage you to experiment and explore different practices, divination tools. Meditate, go within, find that quiet space. I know meditation can be hard. I think the definition and the way people teach, I do teach in quotes, teach meditation gives people a false sense of how it is supposed to be done. And I don't believe that there is a right or wrong way to meditate. You don't need to sit in a certain way. You don't need to sit Indian style and do the Om and have your finger. Like, you don't have to do that. If that works for you, great. But if it doesn't, you can do that. You can meditate anywhere just by closing your eyes. It automatically shuts that world out if you let it. And then if you ask for guidance and just let it, allow it, don't have any expectations in it. And then again, take notes as to the little voices, the little revelations that you find. Even if all as it says is, I love you. Because that's your heart, that's your higher self saying, I love you, and I'm here to support you. Just allow it. And you have to take action, though, too. Don't ever give up. That God source is within us. Your intuition, that's the voice of your soul and your spirit. And your intuition speaks to you from your heart. And your heart is directly and energetically connected to source. And since we're all energy, we all are an aspect and an expression of God, of source. It's time for us to show up in the essence of that which we were meant to be and leave behind who we thought or who we were told or taught to be. And when you release all of that, this is when you find and feel your most authentic self. That most loving, authentic spirit that you have within yourself will come forward to shine the light in the world. We need more light. We definitely need more light in this world. And it has always, always been right there within you. Seek it, and you will find. Don't give up. Keep going. And know that all will be revealed in divine timing for each and every one of you personally, if you choose to continue on this path. So with that, I will start to close out this episode. And I do have some exciting news too, by the way. I have been contacted by a sound healer. Her name is Mary Electra, and I will be doing an interview, my first interview with a healer. And she is what is called a tonal alchemist, which is a sound healer. And she heals with the sound of her own voice and with sound bowls, I believe. I had an incredible sound healing journey with her, a meditation and a spiritual reading that was absolutely amazing. And she and I are currently coordinating the interview that will hopefully be coming out within the next couple of weeks. And we may also collaborate on some things and maybe once a month do a meditation and healing practice for anybody who is interested in that. So I'm very excited for where we are going here with our rebellious sacred hearts. And just remember to smile, shine that light. Don't let anyone dim it, because you are in essence an aspect of God, of Source. You are worthy. I am worthy. And together we can raise the vibration and heal ourselves and the world. I truly believe that we are meant for so much more. So I hope that you will come back and listen to us on the next podcast. And I'm also going to start doing some little short videos. I will start to do actual videos, not just voice episodes. So I'm going to start incorporating those in here, and we'll see where this goes. I'm just flying by the seat of my pants, like I said before, and know that Spirit's got me. It's got all of us. We're here for a reason, and we're meant to shine. I love you all, and I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful evening, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.